Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello, hi. So today's video, we are just gonna be talking about makeup brands. I really want to do a video, and I might do this later, like maybe next week, about brands that have like never let me down. Like my tried and true brands that I support, brands that I know are gonna be amazing no matter what I buy, like brands I'm ride or die for. There's not a lot of them, but there are a few that I love. But today, I thought it'd be kind of cool to almost do the opposite and talk about makeup brands that I have literally never bought from. I do want to preface it with this. I have been like buying and been a makeup consumer for years. So and I also used to do like subscription boxes to makeup and things like that. So it is possible that I have like tried one offhand thing from a brand like years ago and just didn't remember in this video. But to the best of my knowledge, I have never tried a product from these brands. And if I have, it's likely I didn't buy it with my own money. So I just wanted to give that little disclaimer. Today's candle of the day is Waikiki Beach Coconut from Bath & Body Works. Their new tropical collection. If you have a deep obsession with coconuts in the same way that I do, it slaps. It's so good. It is like literally such a good, they're amazing smelling. I bought a couple from their new beach collection and I feel like I'm in Hawaii, like on a beach in the sand, not stuck here in upstate New York. So let's get started. So the first brand I want to talk about is Armani Beauty. And I actually don't know a ton about Armani Beauty and like stuff that they put out, but the one thing I will say is I got into makeup right around the time that the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation became popping. And I know that even to this day, so many people rave about the Armani foundation. Like they literally say it's their tried and true. There's one that's like the Power Silk Foundation, and there's another one that there's a couple different versions of it, but people say across the board that Armani foundation is like one of the best in the game. Now, when I was first getting into makeup, I quite literally could not afford that foundation. It was literally so expensive, and I remember I watched so many videos about people talking about it. There was this one girl who I wonder if she still makes YouTube videos. I haven't seen anything from her in a long time. I think her name was Dina? I think it was Dina. She was in beauty school, so she had really interesting like perspectives on makeup, but it was basically like a professional makeup convention, and she would go to IMATs and she would do this haul of like this just amazing amount of makeup and all of these beautiful things, all these glitters. But I remember that she in particular, that's not the point of the story, but she would do these amazing hauls with those, and that's how I found her. And I remember she in particular was obsessed with the Armani foundation, and I really wanted to try it because it looked so good on her. She would put it on and it would just transform her entire face. Not that she wasn't beautiful before putting it on, but like it was just a transforming foundation. But I never got around to it because it was so expensive. And now I low-key still hear people talk about it, but I still cannot justify a foundation that costs that much. I am so weird about foundations. I feel like if it was a brand that had other stuff that was really hyped up from it, I would maybe consider it. But because the Armani foundation is like the only thing from Armani I ever hear people talk about, I think maybe that's why I haven't like just done it. But I always have wanted to try that foundation. I've heard it's really good. And I remember talking about it in a video and being like, I can't afford this. And people being like, make your way to afford it because you need it. Anyway, also low-key, I feel like with foundations, I almost don't want, I've said this before, but I almost don't want to love expensive foundations because you have to rebuy them and that hurts. Like, having to rebuy a $65 foundation every like 3 months after I go through it sounds like the absolute worst thing on the planet. So not a fan. Also low-key, I haven't even been wearing foundation lately. I really am rocking this concealer powder combo. I'm not even fully wearing foundation. I'm only wearing concealer. I tried to think about what foundation I'm wearing today. I'm not wearing any. I'm literally wearing concealer and no foundation because that's just what I've been into. So I think honestly now I wouldn't even get my money's worth out of it because it's so full coverage. And also from the brand, I just never hear anything else. Do you guys have any products from Armani that's not the foundation that you feel like is like amazing and worth the price? Because I have no idea. The next brand I want to talk about, I actually know that I have tried a singular product from them and I got it in a boxy charm, but other than that, I've never tried anything from the brand, and that is Bare Minerals. And Bare Minerals actually interests me a lot, especially right now, because what I just talked about with like how I'm kind of into that no makeup makeup sort of style. I feel like Bare Minerals was kind of doing that this whole time. Like they've always been about the sort of natural everyday makeup. And interestingly enough, we haven't at my mall, we don't have a lot of stores, but we have like an independent from Sephora Bare Minerals store. Like it's just for Bare Minerals products. And I've always thought about going in, and then I'm like, no, because honestly, I think the problem with Bare Minerals is while I think right now they're making trendy makeup that's like very trendy for what the style of makeup kind of is right now, this sort of no makeup glowy look, they definitely have that trendier makeup. The quality, I've never heard anybody really rave about the quality. Like I've never heard anybody be like, oh my God, you gotta try this new Bare Minerals blush. I have a friend actually, one of my best friends, she's not super into makeup, but she like, you know, dabbles. She takes all of my decluttered makeup. And she has a Bare Minerals foundation that she used to use and like loved it. But again, just never got into the brand. They're another brand that I did this in my Becca video where I was just kind of talking about from like a consumer perspective, like what brands do we see maybe falling off the same way that Becca did. And weirdly, Bare Minerals was in my brain. I don't think I verbalized it, but Bare Minerals is another one. I just never see people, number one, I never see people in that brick and mortar Bare Minerals store. Like literally, I walk past it in my mall all the time and I never see anybody in it. And also number two, I just never really see anybody talking about it. I don't even really see my friends who are into makeup ever talk about Bare Minerals or like rave about any of the products. They haven't had one of those sort of wow products in a really long time. One of those products that like everybody's talking about. Like I never really see that from them. I never really see beauty YouTubers talk about them. What I will say about Bare Minerals is I think that because they make that sort of no makeup stuff, I do think they probably cater to more mature skin a lot, which is an audience that based on analytics is probably not predominantly on YouTube, but are probably like tried and true favorites that you've had for years. So that's Bare Minerals for me. I think that that's a really, really interesting brand though. I think if Bare Minerals were to, if they wanted to appeal to the sort of social media demographic, I think that Bare Minerals absolutely could sort of do a little bit of rebranding and appeal to that social media demographic. Like I don't think it'd be hard based on the products they already make. They're already making relatively trendy products. I just don't know if they would. It's like, why would they? If they have a built-in fan base, like what's the point of trying to cater to, you know, trends? But I do think it would be cool to see Bare Minerals almost like rebrand and do some like a little bit of flashier packaging, a little bit more interesting, and putting out like a glowy blush or putting out like ultra glowy highlighters or like a glowy serum, like a no makeup serum, stuff like that. The next brand, and I am proud of this one because when I was starting in makeup, every single Instagrammer used those freaking Farsali unicorn droppers and they dropped that all over their face and they made the glitter, the unicorn tears. Was that a fever dream when everybody in 2016 was making the glitter tears with those? I don't know. But I remember everybody was obsessed with that Farsali elixirs. Like everybody was so going bananas for it. People claimed it like changed your skin. Remember I tried a sample once, and I don't want to hold this against them because to be fair, samples most of the time that I've tried, especially the little Sephora 100-point perk samples, they are like literally never good. Like I feel like they never do a product actual justice. Sometimes the mascaras do, but I feel like for the most part, those little mini perks, it's really hit or miss on if you're actually going to get a good representation of what the product is. But I tried one from Farsali and I tried the drops and it did nothing. It made my skin oily and it made my skin sticky. And if there's two things I hate more in this world, it's oily and sticky. So ever since then, and low-key, I remember they also came out with that jelly highlighting thing that was like it jiggled in the... It was like, what was that movie from the 50s that was called like Slime? And it was just about a giant thing of jello getting bigger and bigger and progressively eating the whole town. That's all I could think about when I was looking at those like jiggly jelly highlighters from Farsali. It was so confusing to me. And I remember people really hyping it up like YouTubers. And I think that's because Farsali almost is like the opposite from brands like Bare Minerals and Armani Beauty, where like those brands aren't talked about at all on social media. I feel like Farsali was pushed on social media so much that I was like sick of it. They were absolutely a social media brand. That was like their whole thing. And I remember when that jelly highlighter came out, again, every influencer I knew was like shaking the jelly highlighter on their Instagram story videos or like doing tutorials with it. And it didn't even look good. It looked like it really emphasized texture. It looked really greasy and oily and sticky. I remember I swatched it in store and again, greasy, oily, and sticky. And it was like $40 for a jiggly highlighter. It was very confusing. I think the brand as a whole was always very confusing to me about why it got so much hype, because it really just seemed really pretty packaging for oils. I don't know. It was weird. That whole brand, I don't even know what they're doing now. I haven't seen anything new from them in a long time. I know they've come out with a few different versions of that primer elixir stuff, that the dropper. They've come out with a few versions of that, but other than that, I haven't really heard anything from the brand since that highlighter thing that happened. Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, that's a brand though I've just never tried and I've just never been into. I'm not writing it off, just have never been interested. The next brand I want to talk about is Givenchy Beauty. In all honesty, I low-key think the Givenchy Beauty is a money laundering scheme. No, I'm just kidding. It's not money laundering. I just have no idea who's buying Givenchy Beauty because I have never heard one person speak positively about the products ever. I think the only time I've ever heard somebody even talk about the products at all was a video that some YouTuber did that was like a boyfriend buys my makeup, and I remember her boyfriend bought her a Givenchy powder and she used it and she was like, oh, this is fancy, and then she was like, oh, this sucks. I think that Givenchy Beauty is kind of a perfect representation of kind of a phenomenon I've talked about before, but it's sort of these luxury fashion houses realizing that there's definitely a market for luxury designer makeup, and because they already have this built-in audience and sort of this built-in brand recognition from being luxury brands, it does make sense that they would want to sort of expand into makeup and sort of just make the money where they can through the makeup market. But I think Givenchy is an example of a brand that doesn't really put any thought or effort or anything like that into their products besides having like extremely expensive powders and lipsticks. Every time I walk past their little section in Sephora, it is fully stocked. Like nobody is taking or selling out products from Givenchy. And I've actually looked at a couple of their stuff before because some of their stuff is really pretty. Like the embossings are pretty or the packaging's pretty. And every time I swatch, it's always just like dry or powdery or patchy or ashy. Like you never really see anything from this brand be super hyped up. Now I will say, I think there are some designer brands who do makeup that kind of don't do this, where you have brands like, I do think Gucci's products are relatively well made, well thought out. I think Chanel has some okay, nice products, things like that they at least think about. But with Givenchy, I never see it. I never ever see anybody talk about those products, and I've never seen something from them that I've been like, wow. Nice, cool. The next brand I want to talk about is Nude Sticks. Okay, this brand is Canada-based, I believe. I have never tried Nude Sticks. There's no reason, actually. I honestly feel like people have always raved about them. I feel like people love the formulas, they love the products, they love the innovation. I know everybody has talked about it for years, like really enjoying the brand. Seems like they come out with genuinely good products, and I think now more than ever, with this sort of rise in interest in cream-based products, at least for me personally, I'm way more interested in cream-based products. And we're seeing trends kind of go towards cream-based products. I think now more than ever, it would be the time to try it. Let me tell you something, still have absolutely zero interest in the brand. Even knowing all of that, like knowing their products are great, hearing hype, all of that, no interest in this brand. And I don't think it's because I think the products would be bad. I think it's because I would not use these, like, frankly. The whole point is that everything is in like stick format. I would just never use these. I made the mistake of buying the Jouer Cream blush duo that came in a stick. Let me tell you how many times I've reached for it. Never. I literally don't reach for it. I've never, ever gets used in my makeup. For whatever reason, stuff that comes in stick format, if it's not like a lip product, I'm not going to use it. I don't know why. It doesn't rationally make sense, but anytime I've ever tried to buy a product like that, I have never used it. Don't even get me started on like the duos that have one for blush and one for bronzer, or one for highlighter and one for blush. I will never use that. Multi-purpose stuff like that, I will never use it. It's why I've stopped buying face palettes for the most part, because I don't ever reach for face palettes anymore unless it's like an all highlighter or an all blush or an all bronzer. But if it's like face powder mixed up with a bunch of different products for the face, I will never reach for it. It's not organically where my brain goes when I'm putting on makeup during the day. So even though it seems cool and like seems trendy and seems like everything I would like, I'm not interested. And also it's low-key kind of expensive, which is fine. I'm sure that the price point, there's a reason for the price point. I'm sure that it's actually really good. But for me, I just have no interest in spending that much money. If it was like lower price, I might look past. No, even then it would be a waste to bring it in. I get stuck in this trap where I'm like, well, if it's a good price, then I'll buy. I'm still not going to use it regardless of the price just because of the concept of the product. So even if it was a better price, no, I still shouldn't buy it. There's this trap that I feel like a lot of people, well, at least I do. I don't know if I'm alone in this or I'm crazy, but there's this trap I fall into with cheaper makeup where I'm like, well, it's such a good deal. Like, you know, I'll just buy it. But then it's still stuff that accumulates inside your drawers and drives you a little crazy. So the next brand I want to talk about is RMS Beauty, which again, on paper, I should love. It's everything that I like. It's trendy. It's like got the cream products. I don't like it for whatever reason. Aesthetically, it never appeals to me. Nothing they put out aesthetically appeals to me. Like they have this new little, it's called the Signature Set, and it's all of these just like cream-based colors that in theory, I should love this concept. I should love the idea of like creams and eyeglasses and everything. I hate it. I think maybe it's because a lot of their products are made for the eyes, and I'll admit, I'm a little bitter. I can't do like cream glosses on my eyes. Like, you know, the eye gloss trend everybody does so flawlessly and beautifully. I can't do that. I cannot do the eye gloss trend. My eyes are too crinkly to do it. I'm lucky that I can work with those liquid matte eyeshadows. Anything that is supposed to look greasy and dewy cannot go on my eyelids because it will look like a road that hasn't been paved in 20 years. Like, it's gonna look so bad if I put any sort of like glossy, greasy stuff on my eye. And I think that's why. I think I'm just bitter because I see these images of people who have the like gloss cream all over their lids and all over their cheeks. And I'm like, I would look so bad. It would look so bad on me, that sort of glossy oil-like trend. I am really, as much as I like cream-based products, there's a difference I feel between cream-based and cream. Like, I can do cream-based. I cannot do like an oil or a liquid still. Like, I can't do it. I am still a powder to cream at most. If we start getting into liquid territory, it's gonna look like trash on me. I also think low-key the simplistic packaging I just don't like. I don't know what it is about that because again, in theory, like this is cute packaging. It's not bad. Something about plain white packaging, I don't like it. Like even this cheek quad that I'm looking at, it's cute, like it's pretty. I just don't, it looks so oil-based. Can somebody tell me if this stuff is more cream-based or if it's oil-based? It looks oil-based to me. Like, so, it almost looks like, you know those Wet n Wild glitters they used to sell that was just loose glitter and petroleum jelly, but you bought it for 99 cents so you weren't gonna complain? That is what all of their stuff looks like to me. It's just like petroleum jelly with pigment added into it, but also it's expensive. The final brand I want to talk about is a brand called Lawless Beauty, and here's the thing. I think that okay, this is getting kind of mean now. As we get lower down the list, it's less practical and more like I don't like it. But that's what this video is for. Like, I don't like their eyeshadow palettes. I think their eyeshadow palettes always look very bad. I'm trying to be nice because these brands did nothing wrong. Like, they really didn't do anything wrong, but I always think that their eyeshadow palettes just look so cheap. These palettes remind me so heavily of Morphe palettes, but in square pans. Like, the color stories are just so uninspired, so boring. There's like 25 brown shades in there. All of their other products, like they have a foundation, they have some lip products. I know they have blushes that people tend to really like. It all just looks so cheap to me, and it's so expensive. It's like $40 for a freaking matte bronzer, and it looks like it literally cost them 3 cents to make. Like, I think that's more what it is. Same thing with the foundation. I can't get over how just like cheap I think everything looks. And on top of that, I feel like they get a lot of credit because their products seem to be very good. According to people I watch, they say they really like the products, but I I don't see anything particularly innovative from them. Not even from the eyeshadow palettes, because, you know, it's hard to make a creative eyeshadow palette in today's world. But even like the blushes, there's nothing. Why did I sound Irish when I said the blushes? Even like the blushes and the bronzers and the lipsticks, like it all just feels so done before. And I don't know why it bothers me with this brand. I think it's because I already don't like the aesthetic of the brand, and I can look past aesthetic if a product is really cool and innovative. But I think it's because I already don't like the aesthetic. I already don't like the packaging. I already don't like all of that. So then when you put in products that to me just look so painfully boring and also grotesquely overpriced, I have just never seen something from them that I've been interested in. I feel like, again, they're a brand that I see all over social media. They're a brand that I think gets a lot of hype, but to me, everything I see from them just screams done before and boring. And that is how I feel about it. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. I'm curious to know if you guys have tried any of these brands. Do you like products? Are there products from these brands that I've written off that you're like, no, 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 you need to try it? Because maybe that could be a fun video, like trying makeup from brands I didn't think I would like or something like that. I don't know. I think that could be kind of fun. But if I'm way off base with some of these brands, feel free to let me know. But this is my personal opinion. And also let me know down below any brands that you guys just won't buy from for whatever petty reason. All right. I love you guys so much. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with some links and information about Asian hate crimes that have been happening since the COVID-19 pandemic, and some GoFundMes that you should absolutely go look at. Stay informed, stay involved. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!